G'day everyone, it's me, the Anti-Theocrat, back with another one. Before I go into the main content, it's a quick sales pitch. It's the only one you're getting, so enjoy it. Below these videos, I do attach all links to the information if there are links to be had. I also archive all of the information if that's possible. I also supply links to other platforms for my content and how to support me if you wish to do so. That'd be nice, but no requirement. That's it. That's my intro. That's my sales pitch. It's all I've got. It's all you're ever going to get. And now, on with the show. So I was really hoping to get away from doing this. I was going to have a bit of a game. I thought, no, the internet has driven me to put enough stupid in my head already. I've got a son to pick up from school in an hour odd time. I've got to ride out on a push bike. Thought I'm going to take an hour to do some gaming. Enough stupid. Let's go. But no, the world doesn't like me. It sent me this for starters. Social Security recipients spend on local and small businesses, helping sustain local jobs. Right. Stupid statement of the day. Thank you. I'm not sure who she represents, whether she's Labour or Green, but she'll be one of those. But this is a stupid statement because, well, while I agree that Social Security recipients do spend their money in local and small businesses, helping to sustain local jobs, don't employed people have more money to spend? And wouldn't they have more money to spend if they were not paying so much in tax to support Social Security recipients who are not participants in the production of anything? They only feed off other people's production. I know this is put forward because this is an argument against the cash-free welfare system the government are trying to push for. This is a card system where you get given a card and it has your welfare on it. It's meant to stop people from using their meagre welfare payments on drugs and alcohol. And I think you're going to save very few people from drugs and alcohol with these cards. And I know there are always ways to rort these systems. So I don't think card or cash makes any difference. I think you have to let people work their own shit out. But that doesn't stop this being a particularly stupid statement. Because if we did not have Social Security recipients, we would pay less tax and we would spend that money in local and small businesses, where people who were not on Social Security might be employed, also maybe paying less tax. That's just a stupid fucking statement. This was put forward on a Labour Party Facebook page that I browse, and I said the same things to them. I'm not afraid of them. But they put this up as this is a statement of wisdom. For fuck's sake, you people are stupid. Fucking stupid. Such claptrap bullshit arguments. But don't worry, we've got more for you. I'm not going to stop this video here. I've also got this one from the Financial Times. Who gave us this wealth of wisdom? By Patty, who runs a racial healing circle. Thank you, Patty. In Chicago, and holds lessons on how to discuss white privilege. What a dumb bitch. A dumb white privileged bitch who's projecting her privileges on all the rest of us as if we're all the fucking same as her, can afford to run racial healing circles. Get fucked, Patty. Anyway, for white Americans, anti-racism training has never been more necessary. I'm inclined to think that anti-racism training is part of the problem. I think what it does is teach people to focus on skin colour, not even on race, but on skin colour. Because within different skin textures, well, I'm not going to say textures, because we're all essentially shades of the same skin texture. Different shades of the same skin texture. different skin textures can represent peoples from very different locations and very different cultural backgrounds. Everyone who's black, it was not slave stock. Almost none of them were in the Western world, unless they had to have escaped the Arab states. For fuck's sake. But yes, I think that this training is the problem. White privilege is the problem. No, look, bitch, I got no privileges. I got none at all. I'm a poor man and an at-home parent, and although this is quite the life I've chosen and I'm very happy with it, I ain't got no privileges. The privilege I have is having enough income through my partners to not have to claim benefits from anyone and live free from most ties to government. That's it. I rent, so I don't have to pay property tax, but I have to pay rent. But I pay that to someone who I'm happy to have a house from. And in time, my second partner's getting us on the track to trying to buy a house again. But you know, my one tie to government then will be I will have to pay some property tax. We do pay income tax and all the sales tax and shit, but you know, on the whole, they have nothing to do with me. When they ask me for things, I can just ignore them all year long. My feeling is that white people have a very, very serious problem, and that they should start thinking about what they can do about it. Take me out of it. What's take me out of it mean? Look, I read this the first time I saw it. I then read it again and again, and I've only read the first couple of paragraphs here, but what the fuck does take me out of it mean? I think white people have a very serious problem too, and they should discuss why they feel so fucking guilty about having done nothing with their lives. The people who have this white guilt, they've essentially done nothing with their lives. They didn't go out and start a plantation and employ slaves. No. They didn't do that. What have they done with their lives? Go out and protest that they didn't keep slaves? I don't know. The African-American writer, so someone from a very unbiased background, no doubt, when telling white people what they're doing wrong. Toni Morrison made this point more than a quarter of a century ago. Wow, there's been black racists around that long. That white Americans need to tackle their own racism without expecting non-white Americans to help them to do so. Oh, the black American racist told the white people that they are racist and they should fix their own problems. Can I then turn around to the black racist and say that she can sort out her own fucking problems? Am I allowed to do that? Sort out your own shit, bitch. This year, the point has been made frequently since May when a white policeman suffocated George Floyd, a criminal who had participated in a criminal act and then overdosed on drugs and was on his deathbed when a policeman not only took him out of a car he was panicking about being in and put him on the ground and held him, but he then went and died. How dare he die? How dare the criminal man George Floyd, whose greatest exploit was holding a gun to the belly of a pregnant woman during a home invasion, die under the knee of a police officer? How dare he? Oh, hang on. I've gone off track a little bit. An African American sparking nationwide riots and by racists and shootings of police officers. Oh yeah, it did that, didn't it? Is one way. It is one many white Americans struggle with. Many fucking losers. The rest of us, we looked at the statistics and went, hang on. More of us die due to police interactions than you do. And we're more likely to not be violent by percentage, to be the participants in violent crime by percentage, but we're still more likely to get shot. or killed by a police officer. American statistics. It's an American case you're talking about. I'm guessing, well, you're a Yank from Chicago, so we'll keep it in America, shall we? It's no worse anywhere else in the first world that I know of. But, yeah. There are plenty of white Americans who cannot get over the fact that a black criminal ended up in a position where he died of a drug overdose under a police officer's knee. Nobody told him to get in that situation. And the white people who get killed in that situation, I didn't tell them to do it either. How can we challenge our inherent, sometimes unconscious racism? No. I'm not being racist, I'm being honest. I don't give a fuck who the criminal is. If he's taken a massive overdose of drugs and he's dying and nobody knows it, but he gets arrested for a crime that he's committed, and a police officer ends up having to try and pin him down because he's been a pain in the ass, in which circumstance he goes and dies, the inconsiderate bastard. I mean, the police officer's got a fucking lot to suffer through after that. An inconsiderate prick. I don't care if he's black or white. I'm not being racist. You're a cunt for doing that to a police officer. I could turn this whole story on its head, couldn't I? I think I am. Alright, let's keep going. I turn to Truth, Racial Healing and Transformation, Greater Chicago. Well, they sound like wonderful people. Which runs healing circles. Healing circles. Oh, I can hear the spiritualists and the incense is burning already. Fuck off. In a highly racially segregated city where I live. Well, you people are not fucking helping, are you? You are causing greater segregation. Because it's all the white people's fault, the fucking whiteys. And you're calling for more segregation. Keep the whiteys in their place. Yeah, you're really fucking helping. I signed up for a 4-week White Infinity group. Well, fuck off. White Affinity? What the fuck is White Affinity? Designed to help me learn from other white people how to talk about white privilege in my own life, especially when I least want to see it. What about the privilege of Oprah? Does she have white privilege? I tell you what, she's worth more than my entire family. In any year, she's probably earning more than my entire family. So, what privilege is white privilege? Is there some other defining factor we could call this? Like, you have the time to go and sit in a healing circle to learn about white affinity. How middle class are you? Just how fucking middle and upper middle class are you? Are you Oprah wealthy? What privilege are you talking about? Because I don't have it. I do not have the time for your pouncing about behaving like you're fucking victims of your own cause, of your own creation. Donald Trump recently banned this kind of racial sensitivity training in the US federal government. Yay, hero to the fucking nation and federal contractors. Now, if only we could get that to happen here in fucking Australia, we'd be right. Hopefully, he gets another term. It's getting close. He better fucking win it, because we don't want that other loser running your fucking country. That'll fuck us over good and proper. But hopefully his influence might spread to here. Fuck, I hope we end up with a conservative government again. You have no idea how hard that is for me to say. I spent most of my life a Labor voter. I stopped being a Labor voter and actually went and voted Green at one point. I voted independent a few times. I have never voted Conservative, but I'll tell you what, I'm fucking leaning that way at the moment. Anything to stop you progressive cunts pushing this shit on us. So yeah, I hope Donald Trump wins by simply banning this. He's a hero to a great many of us. This is hate preaching. This is racially dividing and sexually dividing. The President's executive order said the goal was to combat offensive and anti-American race and sex stereotyping and scapegoating. That's exactly what it is. He's not fucking wrong. You are saying white people as a stereotype are the cause of everything, the scapegoat. He's dead fucking right. You spelled it out in the first half of this article. He went on to declare himself at last week's final presidential debate the least racist person in the room. And he probably is, because people like you are racists. You hide your racism under a veil of, oh, but look what we're doing for the poor little blackies. That's what you do. I'm looking after my racism so that the poor little blackies won't have to put up with it, and they'll be able to raise themselves to greater heights, because without my sacrifice, the blackies can't do it on their own. You're fucking racist as all fuck. Yes, you are the racists. He was possibly the least racist person in the room. So Mr. Trump is certainly not signing up for diversity training, and good fucking him. Really, I never want to have anything to do with anything that calls itself diversity training, and I am ready to go down and march to the school if they try and flog this shit to my kids, which it looks like they're going to be doing. And I will be marching down there and dragging him out. And I, too, believed I had lived a lifetime on the right side of racism until recently, when you went to a brainwashing class, although personally it sounds like you were already a moron for walking into that fucking class, walking into that spiritualist circle you walked into. As a child, I devoured works by black writers. I devoured the works of writers. I had no fucking idea what colour the people behind the writing were. I still don't give a fuck what most of them were. It wasn't important. If the writing was good, I liked it. If the writing was informative, I liked it. And I don't give a fuck who the author is. I have in my collection of books that I'm supposed to be reading everything from ancient Greeks through to, what's his name, the black American economist. You'll think he's a right-wing loon or something because he doesn't agree with you on the pay gap. Well, I'm sorry, I just don't care what the colour of the people writing my books is. The fact that I even know a couple of people's colours it's just amazing. It's a reflection of the world which you have created, not a world which I grew up in, where it didn't fucking matter who wrote the book if the book was good. Getting special permission at the age of 10 to borrow from the library's adult collection so I could read the writings of black nationalist Malcolm X. Well, I see you came from a really, really rational background. I can see that your upbringing gave you, at the age of 10, no fucking political leaning at all, did it? That you had to read Malcolm X at the age of 10. 10? Fucking hell. At the age of 10, I think I was still playing in a fucking sandpit. But you were reading Malcolm X. I either smell bullshit here, or I smell an early life indoctrination. So you did not live as someone who thought you lived on the right side of racism. You were always a racist. You were raised to believe that you were a racist. This is nothing new for you. I spent 20 years in Africa. Well done, you. Helping the blackies, were you? including covering the end of apartheid in South Africa for the Financial Times. Oh, you were well and truly looking out for the blackies. And writing a book about it. Oh, she sacrificed herself for the blackies. I adopted 2 non-white kids. Racists don't act like that, do they? See, at this point, you'd be calling me a racist because I call you a racist, because I see racism in everything you do. Even having to point out that you adopted 2 non-white kids so that you can claim not to be racist is in its own way racism. I've got a half Asian kid. I don't care. Doesn't matter. He'll be what he'll be. Fuck, he'll probably be a midget like his mum, and I don't care about that. She's the one who keeps saying, oh, he's going to be short. I keep saying, so? Don't make a thing of it. Who cares? He'll be a jockey. What of it? Doesn't matter. But no, you have to point it out. Like my wife has to point out that our son's probably always going to be short. My other son's over 6 foot tall. But my younger son, he's a little kid. He might grow, he might not. It doesn't fucking matter. But you have to point out that you have 2 non-white kids. Racist. You are a fucking racist. My time in the white affinity circle taught me that sometimes they do. What? Racist? Sometimes racists do adopt kids who aren't white. Yeah, we know, because you did. We know full on that you, the racist in the room, you adopted non-white kids. As we gathered every Thursday in a Zoom call, I faced questions like, have you ever benefited from your racism in your community or workplace? Have you ever perpetrated racism yourself or witnessed it? And what do you wish you'd done differently? What the fuck? Did you ever benefit from racism in your community or workplace? Who the fuck goes around shooting down other people in order to benefit themselves based on race, except for racists? And I mean, this is a fair question, but this is more or less demanding that you've done this. So you have to accept your racism. You must have done this. You are this kind of person. Have you ever perpetrated racism yourself or witnessed it? Define for me what it means to perpetrate racism. I myself have said that you're supporting Blackie. Is that racism? Or am I just being critical of you? I'm not particularly being racist to black people. I have no issue with black people. I live in Aboriginal Australia and have plenty of friends with dark skin, and I don't give a flying fuck. As long as they're nice people, I just don't care. But while I'm criticising you and I'm saying, oh, look, you're looking out for Blackie, you probably think I'm a racist because of the way in which I've termed this. But I could say this to my black friends and they would understand what I was saying. Because you are a racist. And I am being critical of you. I am not being racist. So, where is this racism you're seeing? Have you witnessed me doing that? Now, would you think that was racist? These are just pointless and stupid questions, and they rely on your perspective. When have you called out someone else for a racist comment or failed to do so? Do you have to? Is it necessary? Is it necessary to go calling people out all the time? Can't you just let things slide? I let things slide all the time. I let things slide when people say them to me. You know, I'm an at-home father. 23 years. I say it often enough. I fucking point this shit out often enough. Well, guess what? One day, I had a woman face me at a playgroup and tell me that I should be at work supporting my family, not being an at-home father, and being at playgroups. What fucking sexism? What a bitch! And you know what I did? I let it slide. I talk about it afterwards, but at the time I let it slide because I didn't give a flying fuck about the trailer trash bitch. Right? I could have told her there and then she was a trailer trash bitch and to fuck off, get out of my face. But no, it was easier to let it slide. Who cares? One piece of trailer trash is just, not going to change my world. But it does give me something to point out, that women have been the single most discriminatory group against my being an at-home father. In any case, moving on. I pointed out that as a white person living in Ghana in the 1980s, she was over there helping out Blackie. She really was. She pointed this shit out like it fucking... Hey, love, I lived in China, and you know what I didn't do? Give a flying fuck about the welfare of the Chinese people while I was over there. The only person I gave a fuck about while I was over there was my wife, okay? I was treated like royalty. She got the red carpet treatment too. Ghanans often told me that I looked just like Lady Diana Spencer. You were white, that's why. They couldn't tell the fucking difference. All you white people are the same. And trust me, I get this from Asian people. Who would become the UK's Princess of Wales? Oh, fucking stop name dropping. Get on with it. Okay, they thought you were a pretty young thing and you probably had the haircut because it was popular at the time. Fuck off. Living in South Africa under apartheid, I used segregated hospitals. Well, you probably fucking had to. As a child in the 1950s, I remember whites-only drinking fountains. Well, lucky you. But of course, that's cheating because it's ancient history. Well, hey, you can't be excused because of ancient history. Pay your fucking reparations. Get on with it. Pay your reparations. To this day, I live in an almost entirely white side of a town that also has a black side. Yeah, you know what? People do segregate themselves. They do. By a whole range of things. By class, I bet you're upper middle class. Upper middle class? By your career, the things that you're singing and preaching about what you've done with your life, I'd say you're probably upper middle class. You're doing all right for yourself. And I'd bet that the people on the other side of town, who are probably a largely black population, are working people. You do not live near them in the way that I live in a largely Aboriginal-dominated neighbourhood of a outback town because I'm a slum dweller. I do not have a lot of money to live in a more expensive location, and I rent privately in an area of town that is mostly public housing. So, yeah, some of us have to divide ourselves by things other than just our skin colour. But you see this as skin colour. Asian people gather together by culture. You go to any of the cities in the world and you will not find in the Western world, you will not find the Chinese people living in the same neighbourhoods as the Koreans. It is totally different cultural perspectives on life. And although they may find more in one another than they will find in you or I, we whiteys, the truth is that their cultures are not the same. They have similarities in appearance, but they are not the same. They will divide. They will live near people like themselves. Get over it. I chose this town because the high school is majority non-white, and I wanted my kids to get that kind of education that was impossible for me. You specifically chose a high school because it's majority non-white? Why would that matter? Why would this matter? What is there a difference in the education between white and non-white people in the US? I've never heard this before. I really, really fucking want an answer to this one. Is there a difference in the way that white and non-white kids are educated in the US? Do they learn different things? Do you learn to read and write different languages or something? What's the problem? What's going on? Someone tell me. Fucking hell. Look, I couldn't have grown up in a... Look, I started in a place that wasn't very multicultural early in my life. But I moved to a place that was so multicultural it was ridiculous. And I haven't lived in anywhere that wasn't multicultural since. Australia has become far more multicultural over my lifetime than when I was a young kid. So, it doesn't matter. It's just never bothered me. And I wouldn't think to send my son, I wouldn't have thought to send either of my sons to a school simply because there were more non-white kids. I mean, my kid goes to school now. He's chosen his friends. Some are half Asian like he is. But I don't think it's got anything to do with race. It's just the way it turned out. They're just kids with the same personalities. Bloody hell, woman. You are such a racist. You see race everywhere. Apparently you saw race when you were looking to educate your children. The real question for me was the final one. Do I speak when others call coronavirus kung flu? Or say other races think, look, I'm married to a Chinese woman who's from a place about 500 kilometres south of where the coronavirus kicked off. I got no problem calling it kung flu or the Chinese virus. Admittedly, it's caused a bit of a stir around our house. She's very much a Chinese national still and got all the Chinese indoctrination going on. But who gives a flying fuck? At the end of the day, it doesn't matter much. She's very critical of the way our government has dealt with coronavirus. We're not as tough as the Chinese. You know, the Chinese, they welded people's doors closed to keep them in. And we didn't do anything like that tough because our government's a piss weak. Well, she gives me shit, I give her shit. It's the way it works. You're allowed to give each other shit. But why is it that you need to get upset about these things? Again, can't you let things pass? Does it matter that much? This is not only a disease that started in China, but the second one like it. SARS started in China too, and had it not been contained earlier on, it might have been the first time we had one of these international pandemics. So, maybe we're allowed to start pointing the finger. And I've lived in China. I know the conditions. I know the sort of shit people will eat. I know the live food restaurants. I've seen a lot of shit going on over there that just makes me wonder. And I've eaten a lot of shit over there that I would never eat at home. Well, admittedly, I've never been to a live food restaurant and never have plans to ever go to one. But I know these things exist. Japanese live seafood restaurants. All these sorts of things exist in China. Or do I act innocent bystander to racism? It's not fucking racism. It was the term kung flu came about because we weren't allowed to say the China virus or anything on social media, so kung flu sort of took off, and then kung flu got crushed. We weren't allowed to say that either. It's not racism, it's an acknowledgement that the disease started in China. We weren't allowed to say China, so other things were tried. Now we're not allowed to say the disease's name. So grow the fuck up. Because my generation was taught not to rock the boat, especially if relatives or neighbours are involved. That's not terrible advice, you know. You can go to dinner with people and not necessarily attack their lives in their own homes or whatever. You are allowed to do that. I don't go into the homes of religious people and start demanding that their religion is bullshit. I don't walk into your home and start demanding you're a racist. It's no point. It's just not the way polite societies work, and polite societies work the best. And I like polite societies. I am a massive contributor, or have been. I've essentially given up doing it now. Too much crap. But I've participated in my community and through community organisations an awful lot over a 30-odd year period of my life. And I do it because I like a society that has things for people, that works, where people can do things together and participate together and talk together and learn things together. It's not terrible to be able to sit down with someone, ignore their slip-ups or the things you might consider slip-ups, and let them go. You can always have a chat about them at another time that's more appropriate. Jose Rico, director of some shit in Chicago, says what it comes down to is a lot of the time is whether white people want to give up stuff. The question we get is, I want to help, but I don't necessarily want to give up my comfort or privilege. Fuck off. Just fuck off. This goes back to where we started with this video. The welfare recipients. They just want everyone else's stuff. It's okay. We participate in the economy. We don't produce anything. We're getting your tax money given to us. But, you know, we're going to spend it in your shop and you'll feel much better because you got your money coming back to you in your shop. Look, if I go out and do the work to earn something, if my partners go out and do the work to earn something, no, I'm not just fucking giving that shit to you. Go out and do your own work. Why do you fucking think you deserve my labour? That's just a bullshit argument. You fuck off. I shouldn't need to give up anything for other people to raise themselves out of the fucking mud. Really. Why do I have to end up in the mud for them to get out? Can I not stand at the edge of the fucking puddle and give them a hand? Or can I not just let them get themselves out of the fucking puddle? Because working their own way out of the puddle will teach them how to get out next time. Seriously, this isn't, my metaphors are shit, but the question is sound. Do people learn better when they have to get their own asses out the fucking hole? Do you learn more? Do you respect more? Do you understand better when you have to do it for yourself? Or do we have to always give other people a hand up? So they never fucking learn anything. Never respect anything. That's the question for me. Do I call out racism, even when it may spoil a close relationship? No, you don't always need to. There might come a time, like I had a Christian friend tell me that my children were wonderful children many times, and then one day she turned around to me and she said, "Your children would be better if they had a Christian education, don't you think?" And that was it for me. As an atheist, I don't have to take that sort of insult. My children are either good or they're not. Why does it matter if they receive a Christian education, if they're good kids? You say it often, you point it out often. How am I not supposed to take it as an insult that my children could be better if they knew your mythology? My good kids could be that much better if they just learned your mythology. It's fucking insulting. And I had this out with that said friend. And our relationship has not suffered for it. And she still has her beliefs, and I still have my lack of them. But she now knows what it means to insult someone. So there are times when you can address things. But I don't go into her shop and when she says, "Oh, I'm not a Christian. I just have a belief in God and the spirituality," and she'll quote Bible at you and shit. She's a Christian. She's a Christian without going to church. But I don't fucking point it out to her every time I walk in the shop. There's no point. Should I deliver that message in a way that doesn't immediately trigger defensiveness from person challenged? If you are going to address it, that would be the easiest way to do it, yes. If, however, you plan to have no association with the person in the future, you can be a cunt about it. Really, there are two ways to go. When did shaming someone over their opinion, even if condemning them does make them feel virtuous? When did shaming someone over someone ever change their opinion, even if condemning them does make me feel virtuous? I get it. Oh God, I struggled through reading that. That was some shit. Why do you have to shame people? What? And yes, it is about you feeling virtuous. That's all it is. That's the whole thing. Is you're making yourself feel virtuous. You, the racist, you're making yourself feel a little bit better because you're going to attack everyone else that you perceive to be racist. You're never going to address your own racism, though. You've written about your racism many times in this article, but you're never addressing it. Thank fuck we're near the end of this. Clearly, anti-racism training is a work of a lifetime. And whatever happens in next week's US election, Donald Trump, I'll doubtless need more of it in the future. You fucking idiot. You do. You really do need more, but you don't need the stuff you're getting, because the stuff you're getting is telling you to be racist, not how to avoid being racist. I'll doubtless need more of it in the future. Yes, you fucking will. You're an idiot. And idiots buy shit that's stupid. This place in this mob in Greater Chicago is so worried about post-vote racism violence. Fuck off. The only post-vote racism violence that's going to happen is fucking Antifa and insane twats like you going out thinking that beating up white people is okay because all white people are Nazis. You're an idiot. A fucking idiot. So this has trained 300 racial healing practitioners just to get ready for the next few difficult months. There are no difficult months coming. You are stupid. You are a moron. You are a racist. You think it's your job. In fact, these people think it is their job to teach everybody else how to not be racist. Absolute fucking virtue signaling racist bullshit they are, all of them. Thank you, Patty. Thank you for that. I enjoyed making this video. That was a really, look, it was one of the better articles that I've read, and you were a piece of shit. Seriously, racist piece of shit. Ay. And that's it. I've had enough. I'm going. I do not want to do this anymore. I've had enough of this. I'm out of here. I've been the anti-theocrat. May your gods remain fictional. And I will see you in the next one. Until then, have fun.